Did you know that the first 30 minutes after waking up may play a critical role in preserving or destroying the strength of your legs, especially if you're over the age of 60? Many elderly individuals are often unaware that their daily routines may inadvertently hinder their mobility, despite their belief that these habits are innocuous. By the time the weakness is observed, it is frequently too late for complete recovery. Consider the possibility that your difficulties with stair climbing or feelings of unsteadiness while walking may not be attributable to age, but rather to particular morning routines that are gradually undermining your leg strength over time. Allow me to introduce George, a 67-year-old individual with a background in construction, hailing from the state of Michigan. Throughout his life, George took great pride in his physical strength. He had dedicated decades to the construction of houses, engaging in activities such as ascending ladders and transporting substantial materials. He presumed that his lower extremities would maintain their strength, considering his history of physical activity. However, one morning as he was merely exiting his bed, he experienced an abrupt failure of his legs, which buckled beneath him. The individual experienced a fall, exhibiting signs of confusion and fear. Despite years of engaging in physical labor, the patient's legs had developed a concerning degree of weakness, attributable not to the natural aging process, but rather to the specifics of his morning routine. Upon examination, the physician elucidated that George's morning routines had been gradually compromising the strength of his leg muscles over an extended period. The information she conveyed to him subsequently altered the entire situation, and it is precisely what will be elucidated today. Item 1. Emerging from a supine position in bed excessively rapid. Are you experiencing a progressive decline in the strength and stability of your legs each morning? The manner in which you exit your bed may be an overlooked factor contributing to your diminishing strength. Orthopedic specialists at the Mayo Clinic have identified that the abrupt transition from a horizontal to a vertical position can lead to significant drops in blood pressure and muscle weakness in the legs of older adults. Dr. Timothy Rogers, a prominent specialist in geriatric orthopedics, elucidates that when elderly individuals rise abruptly from a supine position, there is an instantaneous gravitational strain exerted on the circulatory system. The accumulation of blood in the lower extremities precedes the body's compensatory mechanisms, leading to transient muscle weakness. This condition, if persistent, can condition the legs to develop a state of chronic instability. Mary, a 65-year-old retired educator hailing from Ohio, experienced this issue. For an extended period, her morning regimen consisted of promptly exiting her bed at the instant her alarm activated. The patient reported experiencing heightened unsteadiness, with multiple instances of near falls upon rising. Following a notably distressing episode of dizziness, she sought the expertise of her physician, who determined that her sudden transition in the morning was the principal factor contributing to her symptoms. Mary acknowledged that she was unaware of the fact that she was compromising the strength of her legs each morning. Upon the implementation of an appropriate bed-to-standing transition technique, there was a notable improvement in her leg stability within a mere 2-week period. Commence the following actions beginning tomorrow morning. Rather than rising abruptly, it is advisable to first roll onto your side, orienting yourself towards the edge of the bed. Subsequently, gently swing your legs over the side while employing your arms to assist in elevating yourself to a seated position. Position yourself at the edge of the bed for a duration of 30 seconds, engaging in the movement of your toes and performing rotational exercises with your ankles to promote circulation. At that point, it is advisable to rise gradually, engaging your leg muscles intentionally instead of relying on momentum. This straightforward 30-second technique mitigates the decline in blood pressure that can lead to leg weakness, allowing for adequate muscle activation. Are you still rising from bed rapidly? This singular modification has the potential to avert considerable lower limb weakness prior to the onset of irreversible effects. Item 2. Extended morning sitting. Do you find yourself settling into your preferred chair with a cup of coffee and the morning news immediately upon waking? This seemingly benign behavior may be compromising your leg strength more rapidly than any other activity you engage in throughout the day. Research findings published in the American Journal of Physiology indicate that remaining seated for over 20 minutes immediately upon waking significantly diminishes blood circulation to the leg muscles during a critical period when they require optimal perfusion. Dr. Jennifer Walsh, an expert in vascular physiology at Northwestern University, emphasizes that the morning hours represent the optimal period for muscle protein synthesis. Prolonged periods of sitting during this crucial time frame effectively inhibit the regeneration process within the leg muscles. Individuals aged 60 and above may experience accelerated muscle loss after just 30 minutes of sitting in the early morning, a rate comparable to what typically transpires over several weeks. Evaluate the case of Margaret, a 72-year-old retired accountant residing in Florida. The patient established a daily regimen of viewing morning news broadcasts for a duration of 1 hour while consuming her coffee. Within a span of 6 months, her family observed a marked decline in her ability to manage stairs and required assistance when rising from seated positions. A physical assessment indicated a significant decline in her leg strength, measured at 40%. The physical therapist determined that her prolonged sitting in the morning was the principal contributing factor. Margaret expressed that she believed she was taking positive steps for her well-being by engaging in relaxation during the mornings. I was unaware that I was causing significant impairment to my legs, she said. It is imperative that you implement the 5-minute morning circulation boost promptly following your appropriate transition from bed to standing. Engage in a slow ambulation within your bedroom or hallway in for a duration of 2 minutes. Subsequently, execute 10 gentle mini squats, ensuring that you lower your body slightly while maintaining contact with a stable surface for support. Follow this with 10 calf raises, elevating yourself onto your toes and then returning to a neutral position. This brief routine, requiring only 5 minutes, effectively engages all major muscle groups in the legs and facilitates the restoration of optimal circulation at critical times. For optimal digestion and energy levels, it is advisable to consume your morning coffee while standing or engaging in gentle movement rather than sitting immediately. What is the duration of your morning sitting routine at present? Implement this modification tomorrow to safeguard your leg strength and prevent potential serious damage. Item 3. Omitting protein intake during the morning hours. Is your breakfast deficient in protein content? The dietary error made during the morning hours may be contributing to a concerning acceleration in the loss of leg muscle mass. Researchers at the Tufts University Human Nutrition Research Center have identified that the absence of protein intake within the first hour of awakening significantly accelerates the deterioration of leg muscle in adults aged 60 and above. Dr. Samuel Richardson, a specialist in geriatric nutrition, elucidates that research indicates the body transitions into a catabolic state during the night, leading to the breakdown of muscle tissue. In the absence of protein intake shortly after awakening, the catabolic process persists, resulting in considerable degradation of leg muscle tissue. In the elderly population, this results in a daily energy deficit that can lead to significant muscular weakness over the course of several months. Susan, a 68-year-old retired librarian residing in Washington, encountered this phenomenon personally. Her usual breakfast consisted of toast with jam and coffee, which was notably deficient in protein. Despite maintaining an active lifestyle through daily walks, she observed a progressive weakness in her legs and experienced challenges when attempting to ascend the steps to her front porch. Upon the identification of a morning protein deficit by her physician, Susan implemented a straightforward modification to her breakfast regimen. In a span of 5 weeks, there was a significant improvement in her leg strength and stability. The patient expressed astonishment that a seemingly straightforward intervention could yield such significant results. It is advisable to consume a minimum of 15 to 20 grams of high-quality protein within 60 minutes of awakening. Practical options for breakfast may consist of Greek yogurt accompanied by berries, providing 17 grams of protein, 2 eggs, which offer 12 jonerol, offer 12 grams of protein, a protein smoothie made with either milk or plant-based protein, yielding 20 grams of protein, or a quarter cup of cottage cheese, containing 7 grams of protein, suitable for those with a reduced appetite in the morning. This morning intake of protein inhibits muscle catabolism and transitions your body into a state of muscle preservation, thereby safeguarding your leg strength consistently over time. Do not postpone addressing your mobility concerns until you find it difficult to stand. Implement this nutritional modification starting tomorrow morning. Item 4. Inadequate morning hydration. Are you initiating your day with coffee rather than water? This prevalent morning error may be contributing to suboptimal muscle function and severe leg cramps, which can significantly impair your mobility. Research conducted by the Hydration and Health Lab at the University of Connecticut has revealed that overnight dehydration significantly affects lower limb performance in the elderly population. Dr. Emily Sanders, a specialist in dehydration, emphasizes that after a period of 7 to 8 hours without fluid intake during sleep, the body experiences a notable state of dehydration upon waking. This condition impacts electrolyte equilibrium and neural function, with the musculature of the legs being especially susceptible. The ingestion of caffeine prior to rehydration exacerbates the issue by promoting additional fluid loss. The consistent repetition of this pattern on a daily basis results in chronic leg weakness, which is often erroneously ascribed to the aging process by the majority of individuals. Consider Robert, a 73-year-old retired postal worker residing in Arizona, who experienced episodes of unexplained morning leg weakness, accompanied by painful calf cramps, that frequently persisted throughout the day. He consistently initiated his day with 2 cups of black coffee and refrained from consuming water until the midday meal. Upon the recommendation of a new physician, who posited that his leg issues could be linked to hydration, Robert expressed skepticism yet consented to modify his morning regimen. Following a mere 4 days of adequate morning hydration, the patient experienced a complete resolution of leg cramps accompanied by a significant enhancement in overall leg strength. Robert recalled that he had consulted 3 different physicians regarding his leg issues, yet none of them had addressed the topic of hydration. The recommended hydration protocol involves the consumption of 16 ounces, equivalent to 2 cups, of room temperature water immediately upon waking, prior to the intake of any coffee, tea, or food. Water at room temperature is essential, as it is absorbed more efficiently than cold water. It is advisable to allow a minimum of 30 minutes following this initial hydration period before consuming any caffeinated beverages. This straightforward sequence guarantees that your leg muscles obtain the necessary hydration during their most vulnerable state, thereby preventing the deficits that can lead to chronic weakness. Are you continuing to consume coffee upon waking? This singular modification has the potential to eradicate leg cramps and weakness that you may have perceived as permanent conditions. Item 5. Morning hot showers. The prolonged exposure to hot water during your morning shower may be adversely affecting your leg strength and stability without your awareness. This unexpected behavior diminishes leg strength in a manner that many seniors do not anticipate. Vascular specialists at the Cleveland Clinic have observed that exposure to hot morning showers can lead to significant dilation of blood vessels in the lower extremities. This physiological response may result in a transient decrease in effective circulation, potentially compromising muscle function at a time when optimal blood flow is critical. Dr. Anthony Parker, an expert in the circulatory system, elucidates that exposure to hot water temperatures exceeding 104 degrees leads to a rapid dilation of peripheral blood vessels. In the context of aging circulatory systems, a phenomenon known as vascular stealing occurs, wherein blood that is intended to support muscle function becomes ineffectively pooled during the critical morning hours. Such occurrences may lead to a reduction in leg muscle performance by as much as 20% for several hours. Patricia, a 66-year-old retired nurse residing in Pennsylvania, has been experiencing persistent weakness in her legs each morning. Despite her extensive medical knowledge and adherence to healthy lifestyle practices, she engaged in prolonged high-temperature showers promptly upon awakening to facilitate muscle relaxation, positing that this practice enhanced her mobility. Upon receiving a suggestion from a colleague regarding the potential impact of her shower temperature on her health, Patricia expressed skepticism, yet remained open to the idea of conducting an experiment to assess its validity. Following a week characterized by cooler temperatures and abbreviated morning showers, there was a notable enhancement in her leg strength. The nurse expressed her embarrassment at not having made this connection independently. "The disparity is remarkably pronounced," she said. "Commencing tomorrow morning, it is advisable to regulate your shower temperature to a lukewarm range, specifically between 95 to 100 degrees, rather than utilizing hot water. Particularly for the lower body, it is advisable to limit your shower duration to under 5 minutes if taken immediately upon waking. Alternatively, consider postponing longer showers until at least 30 minutes after you have risen and engaged in some physical activity. This intervention mitigates vascular dilation, thereby preserving leg muscle function during the essential morning hours. For individuals who have a strong preference for hot showers, it is advisable to direct the warmest water primarily onto the upper body while minimizing exposure to the lower extremities. Are you continuing to engage in prolonged hot showers upon waking in the morning? This singular habit may be compromising your overall efforts to sustain robust leg strength. Item 6. Utilizing inappropriate footwear during the morning hours. The initial footwear you don each morning may contribute to suboptimal muscle engagement and joint alignment, potentially leading to a gradual weakening of your legs over time. The American Academy of Podiatric Sports Medicine has established a correlation between morning footwear selections and the deterioration of leg strength in the elderly population. Dr. Rebecca Turner, a specialist in geriatric foot health, elucidates that the initial steps taken each morning set the foundation for neuromuscular patterns that endure throughout the day. Wearing soft, unstructured slippers or opting to go barefoot can lead to inefficient functioning of the aging leg muscles, resulting in increased instability that may exacerbate over time. In a matter of months, this condition may lead to a decline in functional strength ranging from 15 to 30% in individuals aged 60 and older. James, a 70-year-old retired engineer from Illinois, presented with progressive leg weakness and knee pain, which have markedly restricted his functional activities. He generally ambulated without footwear within his residence each morning until he was completely attired. Upon the recommendation of his podiatrist, James expressed skepticism regarding the notion that his morning foot support could be the root cause of his discomfort. Nevertheless, he consented to modify his routine accordingly. Following a 3-week period of utilizing appropriate supportive footwear consistently from the time of rising, there was a significant enhancement in leg strength accompanied by a reduction in knee pain by approximately 70%. James expressed that he never anticipated that something as seemingly trivial as the footwear he chose to wear initially could have such a significant impact. It is advisable to ensure that properly supportive footwear is readily accessible next to your bed and to don them promptly upon rising. When selecting slippers or house shoes, it is advisable to consider several essential features: a firm, non-skid sole, a design that is not entirely flat, a slight heel cup to enhance stability, and light arch support for optimal comfort. It is advisable to refrain from using completely flat, soft slippers, flip-flops, or going barefoot during your morning routine. This appropriate support facilitates the correct engagement of your leg muscles from the initial steps of the day, thereby preserving strength and ensuring proper alignment. Are you continuing to walk barefoot or in inadequate footwear during the morning hours? This straightforward modification has the potential to avert the onset of leg weakness, which can ultimately result in a decline in mobility. Item 7. Neglecting morning stretching. Neglecting morning stretching is a commonly overlooked habit that can significantly impair leg strength. A proper stretching routine is essential for maintaining optimal muscle function and flexibility. This seemingly minor omission results in accumulated stiffness, which can rapidly progress to permanent weakness. Research conducted by the University of Southern California's Division of Biokinesiology indicates that morning flexibility routines play a vital role in preserving leg function in individuals over the age of 60. Dr. Jason Matthews, a specialist in geriatric rehabilitation, notes that during the night, muscle fibers undergo contraction and joints experience stiffness as a result of fluid shifts and decreased mobility. In the absence of appropriate morning stretching, older adults commence each day with a mobility deficit that progressively establishes itself as their new baseline. Following a period of 4 to 6 weeks without morning stretching, one may observe significant and measurable reductions in range of motion, which can have a direct effect on leg strength. Evaluate the case of Barbara, a 71-year-old retired elementary school principal residing in Texas. She had consistently maintained an active lifestyle. However, over time, she experienced a decline in her capacity to ascend stairs without relying on the handrail for substantial support. The physician referred the patient to physical therapy, where it was determined that her absence of morning stretching was the principal factor contributing to her leg weakness. Following the introduction of a straightforward morning stretching regimen, Barbara experienced a significant restoration of strength and mobility, enabling her to ascend stairs with normalcy once more within a span of 3 weeks. Barbara expressed her surprise, stating that she had no knowledge that merely 2 minutes of stretching could rejuvenate what she believed was irretrievably lost. The recommended 2-minute stretching routine to be conducted each morning comprises seated ankle rotations, performing 10 circles in each direction for both feet, seated knee extensions, with 10 repetitions of straightening each leg, standing calf stretches against a wall for 30 seconds per leg, and standing hip flexor stretches for 30 seconds on each side. Execute this routine promptly following your appropriate transition from bed to standing and prior to any seated activities. The implementation of these specific stretches engages all essential muscle groups in the legs, thereby maintaining the requisite range of motion crucial for both strength and stability. Are you presently neglecting your morning stretching routine? Commence this 2-minute regimen tomorrow to mitigate the stiffness that invariably contributes to weakness. You are now informed about the 7 morning habits that may gradually compromise the strength of your legs after the age of 60, along with precise recommendations for substituting them with alternatives that promote muscle strength. It is essential to prioritize proper transitions from bed to standing, minimize prolonged sitting, ensure early protein intake, maintain appropriate hydration prior to caffeine consumption, utilize cooler showers, wear supportive footwear, and incorporate a straightforward stretching routine. These practices are vital for sustaining strong and stable legs over the years. These minor adjustments require less than 10 minutes in total, yet can significantly impact your ability to maintain independence versus becoming dependent on others for fundamental mobility. Maintaining the strength of your legs does not necessitate costly equipment or intricate exercise regimens. Rather, it involves modifying certain daily habits that many individuals may not recognize as detrimental. Please indicate your acknowledgement of these habits by selecting the like button if you identify any within your own morning routine. Additionally, I invite you to comment below regarding which habit you intend to modify first. Please subscribe and activate notifications to ensure you receive additional content focused on preserving your strength and autonomy as you advance in age. Disseminate this information to an individual you hold in high regard who is age 60 or above. By disseminating this essential information, you may prevent them from experiencing avoidable weakness and falls.